Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's funny because we just said yesterday how comic book resources seem to be more in line with the fandom.
We did mention, except for this one, that this one article was there.
Yeah, we did. And it again, it depends on the writers. But we want to talk about Doctor Who, sort of the follow-up to the debacle that was The Timeless Children. Within the last 2 days, after a lot of videos came out saying, hey, Doctor Who's awful, and the BBC had to post a response.
Which was basically F you.
It was basically F you fans. We don't care. We're the BBC. We're going to do what we're going to do. All of these articles appeared out of nowhere. I mean, we're talking a week after the episode comes out.
Yeah.
Defending season 12 as the best ever. So we're going to talk about that before we get into it. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're less than 1,000 away.
Oh my God, yes!
From 100,000 subs.
I can't believe it. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. It's crazy. So before we get into the articles, check this out. Doctor Who on Rotten Tomatoes looks like it's a critical darling, right? Season 12, it's got 91%, 91% positive. The critics, but there's only 6 reviews.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. I went there the other day and I was like, wow, the audience scores are garbage. And then I'm like, why is the critical score so high? I'm like, oh, there's literally only 6 scores.
Yeah, and they're weird publications too. Like you've got, Film Bunker, which actually, and again, this one was actually more of a negative. After 15 years of watching, I almost quit. And we've got The Observer, we've got Polygon, The Spool, what is that? Espinoff, I'm not sure. This is a Spanish site apparently, but again, only 3 out of 5, but they give it a glowing
right,
review.
But I'm just like, they went and found whoever submitted them or whatever. There's literally 6. And they aren't even the ones writing the articles. I mean, they might have written articles, but there's a lot more places writing articles about how great Doctor Who is. Notice that they review movies, but they didn't review the show.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that there's only 6 for this being the best season of Doctor Who ever. There's only 6 reviews.
But then there was like 13 reviews of that episode specifically.
Yeah, but even that's not a whole lot.
No, and it's still 77%.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, there's some of these people went and reviewed the episode. What they do, go watch the episode because, they wanted to white knight for it, because there is a huge uptick in all these articles from these quote unquote pop culture sites going on about how great it is.
Did they stop letting the audience scores through? Because the last audience score, they were coming in, they were coming in hot.
Refresh it and see.
I just did.
Oh, I don't know.
The last one came in 14 hours ago. They were overwhelmingly negative.
They could. I don't know. They could have. They seem to want to protect anything that doesn't go the way that certain people think it should.
Protect Doctor Who. Protect the Doctor.
Because it's because of misogyny and hate. It's misogyny and like some kind of isms and hatred because of her being a woman. It's not, yeah, it plays into it. But this whole thing is effed up everything about the Doctor in one episode. I mean, you've done it for a while, but the one episode was what really did it for people.
I love this quote. This is my favorite quote. The cringe is real. You think it might not be as bad as you think, but it is. Good God, why?
Exactly. And it's like, a lot of people were watching it and they said they've even watched, her and watched all last season and watched this season, but they're completely done. They're just out because it was okay, we're fine, it's female Doctor. Most people don't even really care about that much. What you did to double down on the female Doctor and retcon everything for basically check boxes is completely stupid. And even people who themselves are marginalized are out too because they think it's gone too far. Yeah,
they've completely, again, for those of you, for those of you who haven't seen the episode and don't understand what we're talking about, why are you watching the video? but beyond that, they've completely retconned the origin of the Doctor after almost 60 years. And yeah, people are pissed. They have a right to be pissed. Going forward, I guess my thing is if you're going to be more progressive with the Doctor, female Doctor, non-white Doctor, whatever, that's acceptable going forward because you can explain what was a different regeneration cycle or whatever. But to go back into the origin of Doctor Who and say that, William Hartnell was not the first Doctor, that the Doctor's not from Gallifrey, and the Doctor was a bunch of little girls before the Doctor was ever a man.
And it was an ethnic man first.
Yeah, it's just... which I
have no problem with. The problem with is the fact that it's not because it's doing it for story purposes. It's doing it just to, like,
F you.
Because it's a white guy. We can't have that. That's what the whole thing's about.
Well, that's what it feels like. It feels like...
It's racism and sexism.
Well, it feels like what they're doing is because fans weren't happy with... a female Doctor. A lot of people weren't happy with the female Doctor. Like, well, we'll show you the Doctor was many, many little girls who weren't white before the Doctor was a man, and then you can just STFU, fans, because the BBC knows what's best.
Well, now the fans are saying to STFU to Doctor Who, and they're not going to watch it anymore. So, good job.
But the media, now, here's the thing. A lot of people have said this. It got so bad that the BBC had to issue a public statement where they basically said, shut up, fans. We're going to do what we're going to do.
We didn't change anything. We just added a layer. It doesn't matter if we changed it. It's a layer. There are many layers.
Like we said, there are many layers on this shit lasagna. It wasn't even when the episode dropped that the media came to its defense.
Yeah.
They waited until a day or two ago, and like clockwork, 4, 5, 6 media outlets all of a sudden jumped on the season 12 is the best season ever bandwagon.
Yeah, where were they with the reviews? You know, with the reviews of the season 12. Where were they? They were 6, and they weren't these people.
And we've got comic book resources. Again, I'm trying to figure out what their deal is, and I think it comes down to...
I think they're just trying to see what gets the most hits.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, here we have one, defending the expanded universe, Star Wars expanded universe, and now we're going to defend Doctor Who. But they talk about how amazing Doctor Who was, that this was great, and everything was great, yada, yada. And then, here we go out to this tech site, Doctor Who series.
A tech site.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
Doctor Who Series 12, masterfully thrilling. Why isn't this...
Masterfully thrilling, oh my god, that's funny.
I did like the new Master. I will say, I did like the new Master. I still like Missy better.
I just think they called it masterfully thrilling.
Masterfully
I just want to slap my head and go, oh, come on.
This is a 4-star review. Why isn't this on Rotten Tomatoes? So the show is going to continue to awe going into its 58th year.
No,
it's going to...
Well, they should try to continue to awe, but people aren't going to watch it. People are pretty much saying they're not watching it anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people. I'm going to be curious to see what the Christmas/New Year's/Festivus special...
Would you stop with the Festivus?
No, you can never stop Festivus.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
I'm going to stop Festivus right now.
This Festivus train is going to keep on rolling. Mm-hmm. It's going to roll through your soul.
No.
All right. Radio Times, of course. Radio Times loves Doctor Who Series 12 review. A big step up. And I would...
Big step up. A step up from what? The shit from last season? Okay, I'll give you that. But then you retconned everything.
Yeah. It's, again, 4 out of 5 stars. Why is it not on Rotten Tomatoes?
They're basic defenses, but it wasn't as shitty as last year. That's basically their defense.
Pretty much. That is what it is.
It wasn't as bad as Capaldi's last year. And it's like, well, the ratings say otherwise. But it's just funny because they're just like, well, their basic defenses, it wasn't as shitty as last year or the year before. That's their basic defense.
Now, they go through episode by episode, and we have to be reminded of the god-awful Time Lord Cyberman hybrid. Why are they wearing clothes?
They're fancy.
They are. They look like those frilled lizards.
I was thinking it.
They do.
They're going to spit shit all over the audience.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to spew the shit from their little Cyberman mouth slits. Why are they wearing clothes? They're already wearing armor.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. That's like giving Optimus Prime a tuxedo. Like, why are they wearing clothes? I don't understand. But here, they go down, they go episode by episode. In the finale itself, I didn't have the same issues many did with the Timeless Children. If anything, I think it adds more mystery to the series.
No, it doesn't.
But I did feel this fairly static storytelling choices made the revelations land a little softer than I'd hoped they might. It was kind of like story time, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was called cheap. It's a lot cheaper to have. Let me tell you, in this little place that only us can see, that we can cheap out on the special effects, that here's your story, and it's all set based.
If these actors don't speak, we don't have to pay them as much.
Right. And literally, they don't speak, and then it's not very much of a set. Most of them were like him talking to her or whatever, and so it's cheaper.
Yeah, it was just done. Look, they can still they can salvage this. All it's going to take is for the next showrunner to come in and be like, oh yeah, the master lied.
Pull that layer off that lasagna.
Yeah, so it's, yes, get down to the, pull off the layer with the corn and the nuts and get down to, never mind. We're talking about the, never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
I already forgot it because I don't care.
Please forget that. But yeah, Radio Times loves it. And again, they're coming within, the last couple days. March 7th. So why are they waiting so long?
Yeah, I know. This has been out for, a week now?
Yeah.
And they're just now saying something about it. That was the 4th, but still, they're just now saying things.
Yeah, they didn't, drop this. I mean, I understand it takes time to put this together. But I'm also like, it's weird that within, as soon as the complaints really ramped up.
That's it. As soon as the complaints ramped up, here they come.
As soon as the BBC had to issue a statement because it was so bad, now all of a sudden here come all these media outlets, jumping to defend.
Yeah, and why would some of these places cover this anyway? Why would this place cover it?
This is more of a, well, they cover gaming and stuff, but yeah, it's kind of a weird, again, it's a weird choice. I mean, comic book resources I can see. Radio Times I can see. Ars Technica, maybe they've been reviewing it, I don't know. Or maybe they just know, this is where the clicks are. This is where the hits are. Doctor Who. Everybody's talking about Doctor Who now. Jodie Whittaker's Time Lord returns to classic Doctor Who
Based
form.
on what?
How is it?
Because there's Cybermen that's classic?
How is it classic Doctor Who when you've retconned the whole damn show?
It isn't, because the Master's back? The Master's been back a few times. This is nothing new. I don't.
You've got Cybermen. What are people calling them? The Disco Cybermen?
No, they're calling them Disco Cybermen?
Yeah, because they get the...
I think they look more fancy than Disco.
Fancy Cybermen.
I think they're like the Renaissance Cybermen.
The Grey Poupon.
The Grey Poupon Cybermen.
The Grey Poupon Cybermen.
The Grey Poupon on you.
They're going to poop all over your... They're going to help build the shit lasagna that is Doctor Who. Yeah, I mean, look, overall, if you look at some individual episodes, I will be fair. Some individual episodes are not as dismal as Series 11. But the fact that they use this series to retcon the entire show negates any good that could have come from this series. Yeah. Like, you could have just taken the damn retcon out and I might have been like, it was a little bit better.
It really honestly seems like Chibnall and company were just like, oh, you don't like this? We're going to make it even worse. We're going to give you a little bit, we're going to say we tried, and then we're just going to shit on you 10 times harder because we can. And this is just like Tumblr and Twitter and everything else. That's exactly what this is.
So they're calling this an inspired plot twist. The retcon.
Inspired plot twist.
An inspired plot twist.
I call it doubling down on bullshit.
That should have plenty of repercussions for future seasons, like the canonical limit of 13 regenerations for Time Lords. The Time Lords made a big show of granting Matt Smith's Doctor this is a big plot hole. A second set of regenerations and gratitude for saving Gallifrey, but that limit likely doesn't apply to the Doctor whose DNA is the source of the ability. It's a big plot hole! The Doctor got another set of regenerations, but the Doctor is the source of the regenerations? Like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't even make sense. But, hey, you're expecting it to make sense.
Like, Stephen Moffat, look, he had a lot of faults, right? I'm not gonna say that Moffat was fantastic. But Moffat was an old school Who fan. He respected the guidelines, which were the Doctor, and at the time, they're like, oh, the Doctor can only do this 12 times, because back in the 70s, they're like, well, that's never going to happen. Mm-hmm. We've only had 4 Doctors so far. We're never going to have 12 Doctors. So they had to come up with a reason that, they had to reset the cycle.
It's pretty bad when this makes Moffat look good.
Yeah. I mean, look, Moffat, especially, I think, Matt Smith's first season was pretty good.
No, but then he went down the trail of, look how clever I am.
Yeah.
And that's what, and then it came...
Mystery box.
It was so unfollowable. Like, you'd start an episode, and you'd be like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And at the end, it would all make sense. Look how clever I am planning all this. But he lost your interest because it was too over-the-top confusing and trying to be clever. And I think that was his downfall. He got cocky. And I think that's, but to say that now he looks good is pretty bad. When you can make his last, episodes look fantastic, then,
Some might call him Mr. Clever.
I was thinking it, but I thought that was too obvious.
Yeah,
it makes me just as much ween as he is. But
here's that, and I would say with Moffat, like, I think his setup was better than the payoff. Like, the Pandorica was this fantastic mystery. The Silence was this fantastic mystery, and then then the answers were like either glossed over or completely disappointing.
Right. But even then, I think even those episodes, I think it was still better than towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, just any scene with, even just pick a scene with like Matt Smith and River Song or something, and compare it to what we've gotten from this season.
It's just nowhere near. They keep going about how representation is what matters and all that. Where are the fat doctors? Where are the handicapped doctors?
We need a morbidly obese doctor. Yes, we need, and she or they, them are too big to fit through the doors of the TARDIS. And that's going to be the plot point. The Doctor regenerates into a morbidly obese person outside the TARDIS, and then the Doctor can't get into the TARDIS.
No, they're not going to do that. But every regeneration, that they showed, not one person was fat, and not one person, was handicapped.
Yeah.
And then don't even get me started on how no one's ever ginger, even though he keeps saying he wants to be, they want to be ginger.
We did have a blind Doctor, though. Because Capaldi was blind for a few episodes.
Okay, but that doesn't really count because he wasn't regenerated into a blind person.
Yeah, but that was kind of an interesting thing. But then they just gave him like magic glasses anyway, so he wasn't. It was like Jodie LaForge. He was blind, but he wasn't really blind.
Right. I mean, there is that point. But yes, I'm just saying they want to cover more bases. So they could have gone back in that montage of regenerations, and they could have done a whole lot of look how we're covering all the bases, and they didn't.
That's true. Give them time. No. What they'll do is anytime anybody complains the Doctor hasn't been a particular kind of person, they'll shoehorn in another past Doctor.
That's right.
We'll have all kinds of different Doctors, and they left that big gaping plot hole in there where like I can't access these memories because 20 years from now they're going to shoehorn something else in there.
Right, exactly. So I mean it's really stupid. And you can't represent everybody all the time anyway. And anymore it seems like all that representation means to Hollywood basically is women. Whatever color you want to make them, as long as it's a woman, that's representation. So here we go. I'm tired. I'm not watching anymore. I'm only covering this because I thought it was very interesting that Rotten Tomatoes had 6 reviews. And they're claiming they have, look at our great score with 6 reviews. And none of them were really these articles, the people writing these articles, that are now white knighting for the show days after the show aired and the complaints started coming in. It was like somebody made phone calls and like, you got to get us good articles. We'll give you money if you give us good articles. Write some good articles.
Some good press. Yeah, because that's like the BBC's like, talking about how like everybody loves it. And they go out to Twitter. I'm like, well, of course Twitter loves it.
Well, there's some people on Twitter who don't like it too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it depends on what feed you're in. But the BBC had a lot of people that were just oh, it's so great. I've never watched Doctor Who before, but because the Doctor now looks like me, I'm watching it.
Or I'm a new account that started yesterday, but it's the greatest thing ever.
Do Doctor Who NPCs look like Cybermen?
I don't know. That's a good question.
With frills, I don't know. There's definitely some weirdness going on here, guys. And the BBC's kind of freaking out a little bit. But, at the end of the day, they get your money either way. They don't care if you hate Doctor Who. They still get paid.
They flat out said this before.
They get paid. They don't care.
Well, you know what? The only way to get the money is eventually companies are going to get tired of losing money. And they're not going to give it to them anymore.
Well, the BBC isn't really a company because that's...
No, but they have international partners. They're relying on that money to make this stuff.
HBO.
And China and different places. HBO and it's only going to be a matter of time until people get tired of it. And they're just like... And then companies like HBO especially, they're not going to go along with losing money.
No.
They're trying to do all this big stuff anyway. They don't have time to lose like all this money on Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, HBO. Yeah, they're really cutting back. Warner Media is cutting back. So we'll see what happens. I'm really curious to see what the ratings are going to be for the whatever holiday special.
It won't matter. It'll go by the critical, and there'll be 2 ratings, and that'll trump all the negative 10 audience score. That'll be
Yeah, they'll have like 50,000 downvote audience score, and like 2 critical or positive reviews from like obscure websites you've never heard of before. They'll be like, Doctor Who has a 100% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah,
from the 2 reviews.
Exactly.
That's got. So, is that what they're doing too? Are these a lot of these shows? Are they like blocking out the negative reviews. Like if the New York Times gives it a bad review, do we not add it? Instead we add it from like some hole in the wall website.
Well, how are they adding them? Do they add them? Do the writers add the reviews themselves, or do they go out and find the reviews?
I don't know.
Because if it's a matter of them going out and finding the reviews, then yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. But I thought it was people had to give their own reviews and add it.
I thought so. I know, there were some people who are YouTubers. I think Grace Randolph was talking about how she, is a certified reviewer or whatever, and she has to decide how to review stuff. I think that it's kind of a mixed bag. I think they go out and find them, and they also submit them. But
I don't know.
A lot of people, even the critics, apparently aren't watching it. They only have 6 reviews. So, all right, we're going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll be back with more videos later today.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.